Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, sim racing fans from around the world. Welcome to one of the most iconic circuits in the world, Circuit de Spa. We're here for the first round of the International Pro-Am Racing Series, and over the next 45 minutes, we are set for high-speed drama, strategic brilliance, and a true test of skill between both Pro and Am drivers, both on track at the same time. Welcome in here to Stam Studio Network. My name is Sean Stam, and Tonight we are in 45 minutes of battling here, opening qualifying, just now finishing up. Jeremy Jukic, an Am driver, matter of fact, is right now fastest in qualifying. Got that 45-minute sprint, no mandatory pit stops, but fuel as well as that tire strategy might be something to work with. Weather conditions are perfect here today. Can't ask for better track conditions within the GT3 series. Something that we have seen in the iRacing universe and the GT3 series on Sam Studio Network recently. Ever since this newer patch in the iRacing universe with that series as well as their tires. Something about that first lap or two getting them up to operating conditions and pressures. We're just going to have to keep an eye on that here on this race start. Drivers just now making their way across the finish line to put themselves where they will start this race. We'll take a look at the track info here tonight. It is a 4.3 mile track, 21 turns, both the combination of course, left, right, and come on, we got those straight turns as well. A little bit of elevation to deal with here tonight. 45-minute race. It's going to be quite fun to watch. This is our season opener. Just last season ago, Lucas Haller and Biscayne Lawless there, out of the North Racing team, swept us in the points. Got that champion spot solidified there last season, but Samuel Cruz as well as Michael Zugmott, Shane Wells, and Tim Reed rounding out second and third, both in that Pro-Am class. Those will all be drivers to watch here tonight as we take a look at, in 20 seconds time, our starting grid. So welcome in here once again, everybody joining in live on Stam Studio Network. This is going to be really fun to watch as I'm seeing right now in the timings and scorings. An Am driver still slapped it up on the pole. Matter of fact, it's going to belong there to Jeremy Jukic. Got Alexander Kjaller right there beside him. A new name with us in this IRPAS Racing this season 5, you could call it. I don't know how we're already on 5 different seasons, but it's got Harry Price right there starting out that third position. Here we go. Now qualifying is finishing up. All these drivers down and out of their qualifying sessions here was open sessions, so you could get a little bit of a draft or slipstream over there through a ruse that very internationally known turn, and that you see now. It has claimed quite a few F1 drivers throughout their races here. But matter of fact, back to qualifying race results. There we see it's Jeremy Jukic's AM driver. He's going to slap it up there on the pole. That might have to be something we watch here early on in this race. Restart Alexander Kjahler, Harry Price, pro driver Lucas Haller, also another pro John Jennings, Biscayne Lawless, Oliver Jansen, Dominic Gaklau, I believe that is that last name. You have to, Dominic, you got to spare me one here, or at least let me know how that puppy is pronounced. Tim Reed rounding out 9th, and Tyler Reed rounding out that top 10. No correlation there, spelt just a little bit differently. Mauricio Marquez Ramos will round out that top 11. Tom Duran, Patrick Reich, Jed Cotterman, Brady Waltzman, Russell Alonso, Gene Kelly, Matthew Sherwood. Got Mark Bray, Louis Cheshire, Nicholas Meyer, Lee West, Jacob Cotterman, and of course the one, the only league owner himself, Dan Fendick, rounding out our 25 driver field here tonight. Strap in, folks. Make sure that you have yourself that drink in hand. You gotta get that salty snack, as well as you are not going to want to leave your seat here for 45 minutes of racing action. We're just still waiting on a couple drivers to grid up here. This is going to be cool to watch here within this tight kind of section. We call it even a hairpin in turn one here tonight at Spa. Jeremy Jukic, Alexander Kjahler, Harry Price, once again Lucas Haller, and John Jennings up in that top 5 row. Every single one of these drivers up here is a pro driver, except for the one on the pole sitter, Jeremy Jukic. Only 1,000 I rating showing for this driver, up against about 2,800, 3,000 road course I rating starting right there beside him. Lights are out on the iRacing safety car. We'll get this race rolling. Here we go. This is what we have waited all off season for. Got some more Pro-Am racing battle. Matter of fact, look at the field here tonight. Biggest field that we have ever had. Dan, real quick, appreciate everything that you've done here within the offseason to continue to grow this Pro-Am Racing League. GT3 drivers will show us how it's done here tonight from Spa. Welcome in once again to Stam Studio Network. Let us know who is live and in the chat here tonight. This is going to be a great, fun race to watch. We had qualifying times very, very similar between these front 4 runners here tonight, as well as, hey, Lucas, he came away with that pro season, the pro championship win just one season ago. We'll have to see how Lucas does here tonight. But right now, the field will be in AM drivers Jeremy Jukic's hands. Here we go, IRPAS Season 5 Racing. Green flag heading into turn 1. This might get a little bit hairy, boys. You might want to calm this puppy down. Tight hairpin. This is an orange flag section. We already have contact in the back of the pack. Drivers still trying to make their way through it here, as that looked to be like Biscayne Lawless, who had already gone around. We got a quick replay of it here. Then we'll get back out to race battling action. Take a look at this. This is heading into, once again, the orange zone of turn 1. Dan makes it known to these drivers, you got to be careful heading in here. And that's Biscayne, as well as, I believe that's Connor, taking a little bit of contact there early in the race. We are still continuing to battle up here. This is about up 21st here in the pack. Going to be Biscayne Lawless after he lost that extremely nice starting position. He's continuing to make contact here as we have more contact. This one's going to be between Dominic as well as John Jennings here. These drivers going to look side by side, continuing to trade paint here through Spa. There we got another one going around. Tim Reed is looking strong here early on in that Aston Martin as he tries to dive that puppy down into the inside here through turns number, I believe this is 5, 6, coming to 7 here. Back into the elevation hungry track of Spa, up and through the right-hander. We'll switch it back to the left-hander. Little chicane action, if you will. All righty, battles are continuing through this race pack. We got Russell Alonso as well as Nicholas Meyer. This is AM battles continuing to heat up. We'll hop on board with Nicholas here as Gravel is rooster tailing out of Russell's rear diffuser. Side by side once again between Russell and Nicholas Meyer. I don't know how these drivers are making it work. Here comes Matthew Sherwood as we got a puff of smoke up in the front, and these drivers are going to have to make their way through it. But about Mach 2 speeds in these GT3s. Looks like just about a little bit of a slight lockup. We'll head our way back into lap 2. Real quick, here is replay number 2. This one is going to be between, this next replay, well, we're about to see it. Gene Kelly and Patrick Reich. We might have to take a look at it. Oh, Gene Kelly's gonna go around. Sean and Tater Curse is gonna strike here early on, folks. Number 41 Porsche GT3 machine. I believe this driver was in that AM category. Gene Kelly got on that gas there just a little bit too soon there out of turn number 2, I believe it was. We'll take a quick replay of it here. As a matter of fact, this is what happened in front of Gene Kelly, and he just had to make some a little bit of evasive maneuvers here. This was side by side between Dominic and Patrick, I do believe. Still continuing to trade some pace. We'll run, slightly run that yellow car off the track. Here we go as we take the slow-mo look. Side by side, just not going to work through the higher speed section here. And then we're going to see Gene Kelly, who comes in at about, he's getting slowed and woed down. He's able to get it moving and grooving once again. Speaking of Gene Kelly, it's unfortunate, I did say moving and grooving, but he'll drop back to P24 for the moment. Backing up to the battle for the race lead. Looks like Jeremy Jukic actually lost that battle for the race lead to pro driver Alexander Hjeller here. Alexander is looking with about a second gap here between Jeremy Jukic. Harry Price, newer driver within our GT3 IRPAS Racing Series, is right there with them, sniffing that rear diffuser for P2. Hopping out on the back bumper of Jeremy Jukic here. We can kind of see these slipstreams of draft start to play a factor here from Spa. If you are a fan of the F1 EA Sports racing games, I don't know how or why EA Sports is able to classify Spa as a very easy track. We're going to head side by side once again. This is why Spa is one of my favorite tracks here. We continue to see some very nice passing zones. That's going to be newer driver Harry Price up to P2. Nice run for Harry here tonight, as well as Jeremy Jukic continuing to lead that AM driver class. Lucas Haller, he's right where he started this race in that P4 spot. Tim Reed, another pro driver, he sits P5 right now, up 4 spots since the drop of the green flag. Really nice battle as we start to head up and through Arus here. Patrick Wright, the 666 Porsche machine. We saw there a little bit of contact on lap 2, but he's keeping things moving and grooving so far. Up and through turns 4 and 5 through our long back straightaway here at Spa. Patrick, he's sniffing that Jed Cotterman's rear diffuser here, trying to battle and work his way back up to at least P8. Matter of fact, look at these two drivers, just a little bit less than a car length, now a car length separating that Porsche versus the McLaren here. Jed and Patrick looking like they have some really nice pace here tonight from Spa. Matthew Sherwood as well as Tom Duran, Biscayne Lawless, all 3 going at it here tonight. It's really fun to watch every single one of these battles not only heat up but continue to ensue through the drop of this green flag. Nicholas Meyer as well as Marco here tonight, another AM driver. It's really nice. It's really fun to watch here once again, and real quick, Marco is actually going to close that gap to Nicholas Meyer. That's a Chevrolet Corvette GT3. We don't really see those too often here within the iRacing universe out on track. Nicholas Meyer is having some really nice runs here tonight. AM driver sitting, I believe that would be just about 7th in class. Closest battle on track at the moment is between these two as well. Hop on board with Marco, his lime green Porsche, number 11. He's going to get right on that rear diffuser. Try to work with, once again, a little bit of a draft, a little bit of a slipstream. If you're newer in the iRacing universe, you best believe these tracks are laser scanned. This air, well, it is replicated down to just the nitty gritty, just about everything you can imagine here. That's why they call iRacing a simulator. If you don't have this thing yet, what are you doing? Make sure you get yourself an account here. Everything within the rookie class is free. Then you got to work your way on up through rookie up to D, C, B, then A class, and then you get to spend a little bit more money each time. So it's they have me roped in at least, as well as all of these drivers. Here's some more. Oh, it's actually going to be contact there between Marco as well as, I believe that was Tyler. Nope, Tyler Reed got past him. Sorry. I believe that was that line. No, it was the Porsche bit. There we go. Okay, anyway, back into the battle up and through Arouge here. That's really going to suck there for, well, it's better for Marco, but it's going to suck if you're, say, the losing position on that here, as we're going to head side by side once again into turns number, I believe, 4 and 5 here from Spa. We may even look 3 wide here. Hang on to your hats, folks. This may get a little tight. We'll settle it back down to 2. I don't blame Nicholas Meyer there for backing out of it in that 71 GT3. Excuse me, that was Jacob Cotterman who backed out in that 48 GT3. Hopping on board with Jacob here. He continues to work with a little bit more dirty air that is crested and put out of the rear end of, that is Cotterman out there in front of Jacob. God dang it, that's Nicholas Meyer out there in front of Jacob Cotterman here. Sorry, it's so many new names. You catch me slipping just once or twice. It is a snowball effect. We have not missed anything backing out to the battle for the race lead, or a lack of it here, because Alexander Keller is looking with a 3-second gap here as we're on lap 4. We really have only had a couple of replays to look at here so far within this race. If you're just now joining us, take a look at this lap 1 incident, of course, involving Biscayne Lawless as well as John Jennings. So it's, I mean, the turn 1 hairpin is definitely inviting the drivers to send it probably 2 and 3 wide. But with this orange flag zone, it's our kind of safety zone at this race start here. Drivers possibly just not getting the memo, or just, I mean, having nowhere to go. And then we have lap 2 here, lap 2 incident between, this was Gene Kelly as well as, I believe Patrick Reich also involved. We're gonna head side by side here, and trust me, Spa has the room for some side by side action, but you start to bang some fenders, you start to straight some paint, and that's just going to unfortunately send the 666 of Patrick Reich right and around. Ooh, another driver unfortunately get involved in that incident as well. And then Gene Kelly comes in there, nowhere to go, takes a spin of his own. Oliver Jansen here, another newer name within our IRPAS Racing League. This is going to be a pro driver, Oliver. Oliver works his way into our series with 2,700 road course iRating. He's starting to reel in Jeremy Jukic's rear ends right now. As a matter of fact, oh, thought he was going to pass him there. So we hop on board with Jeremy Jukic once again. We're starting to see the pace here for Oliver. This is why we have a difference between pro and AM drivers, respectfully. There's just different pace, there's different skill, there's different racecraft between each single class here tonight. And although they are on the track at the same time, they definitely present some race battles to keep an eye on. As here's another pro and AM battle starting to heat up. Tim Reed as well as Mauricio Ramos continue to go at it. This is for 6th and 7th overall, what would be, I believe, 5th and 6th in class. John Jennings continuing to reel in Patrick's rear bumper here. These drivers have continuing to go at this race ever since about that drop of the green flag. I would say this battle's heating up, but at this point, it is straight up boiling right now between Reich and Jennings. Here we go. John's going to try to find that outside line, or at least work with a little cleaner air off the front of his McLaren GT3, number 17. He's going to try this inside. It's going to switch back to the outside this time from Spa. Sorry, I'm all jumbled up here. It's from the chicane. That is why it switches back from the inside back to the outside through turn number 21. We'll head our way back in through turn 1 and through Arouge here. We'll hop on board with Mr. John Jennings as he continues to show some real nice pace out of the number 17. Well, looks like he compromised a little bit of the entry there, lost a little bit on exit, but he's within striking distance through Eau Rouge here. Look at these drivers fly through. We're probably hitting 150, 160 miles per hour. There you see at the bottom right of your screen, right on the money, 155, coming up to 160 here. John Jennings has a massive run. So does, I believe that was Jared Cotterman up there in front. Here's some more side by side. It'll be Patrick Reich, John Jennings continuing. Oh, we're going to have contact. That's going to be the 666 around. Yeah, you hate that there for Jed Cotterman as well as I believe that was Dominic there, because these drivers were showing some really nice pace earlier on in the race. We're going to continue to roll and move on with this green flag racing because we got some more battles starting to heat up here. We're going to hop on board with Mauricio Ramos. He's got a Tim Reed bumper right there in front of him. That AMG not looking like it has the pace from our season opener. Side by side through the chicane here at Spa. We rarely see this work. Mauricio Ramos up to P6 overall. Mauricio up 5 spots gained since that drop of the green flag. Tim Reed, gosh, all due respects there, but Tim Reed made that pass look easy for their Mauricio. How about Jed Cotterman? He's also 6 spots gained since that drop of the green flag. Real quick, I think everybody knows what time it is here. 13 and a half minutes into this race. Enjoy the sights, the sounds of these GT3 cars ripping around Spa. I'll be right back with you up here in the booth. Slowly crank this puppy back down because I might get a little excited here. Lucas Haller, how about it? He's continuing to reel in Harry Price. Remember, these drivers, matter of fact, it looked like Lucas possibly gave a little bit of a point by earlier in the race to Harry. Well, these drivers are starting to battle here once again. Lucas is on the offensive, Harry on the defensive here. We'll head our way through turn 21, back towards the start-finish straight, up and through turn 1 and through Eau Rouge. Lucas Haller, he's going to have to start to play some World Cup-esque defense here. Excuse me, World Cup-esque offense. Harry Price is going to have to play that World Cup-esque defense. These drivers make their way through turn 1. Here we go through Eau Rouge. Lucas Haller continues to retain himself within striking distance. He's just about 2-3 car lengths back there up and through Eau Rouge. Real quick, another nice battle. This is between, I believe, an AM and a pro driver. Scratch that, this is 2 pro drivers. Tim Reed as well as John Jennings continuing to run at it. The Mercedes AMG as well as that McLaren. Got Jed Cotterman right there in front of him as well, joining this battle. Jed also having to play some nice defense here tonight. Here comes a move for Tim Reed. I was going to say, I was waiting for it to happen here. He's going to fake around down the outside. Matter of fact, Tim Reed, that is the line that Tim Reed will run. But he has to try to sacrifice that entry and make that exit speed work. Try to drop a gear and disappear. He, matter of fact, loses just a little bit more time over Jed Cotterman. As well, right behind this battle is a nice battle within the AM class. Scratch that. Once again, this is a duo battle between Biscayne Lawless and Matthew Sherwood. Just 0.4 of a second separating these two drivers. Oh no, Tim Reed has just gone around. Driver we were just looking at with an intense battle there. We're gonna hang on board with him. Unfortunate for Tim Reed, he'll lose 7 spots in this incident. You got a feel here for Tim as he was showing us all was how it was done within the pro category just a couple of laps ago. He'll fall all the way back down right to P16. Right now, the only driver down and out of the race is Dominic Gacklau, as we still have Lee West, Marco, Dan Fendick, Gene Kelly, Louis Cheshire, about 20th through 24th there. Okay, I'm gonna try to, I'm going to try to put you guys in the seats here. We're going to hop on board with Brady Waltman. He's got Tom Duran right there in front, Russell Alonso right there behind him. You can see up in that driver camera in the top middle of your screen. Brady, he's got I don't know how this GT3 AM driver is doing it. I like to give the old point buys if I got somebody right within my rear view mirror, but no, Brady says, hey, I got the positions to make up here tonight. We're gonna we'll stay on board with Brady Waltman all the way through turns 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We'll take a look and hop on board here. He's able to get it down into first gear, really gets the front end of this Acura NSX planted in that track. Able to get that run off of the corner here, up and through Eau Rouge. We'll go a little bit over the left, switch back, go a little bit of a right. These GT3 cars should have enough downforce that you can keep it planted. Keep that foot on that gas pedal. Maybe a slight lift there as we saw Brady get a little loose. They're trying to follow a very fast Tom Duran. Continuing to hop on board with Brady. He's closing this gap between Tom for this overall P12 spot. He's got a little bit earlier entry here. Quick chicane, quick right, quick left. It'll switch back to the right here. Gravel Rooster tailing at the Tom Durant rear end here. Brady Waltman continues to get just a little bit closer here to Tom. Excuse me, Brady Waltman. There you go. I tried to give you a little bit of a rundown of what it takes to run that first sector here through Spa, and man, you could throw a blanket over 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, even 14th, 15th here. Russell is continuing to hang right with him, the driver of the 101 Porsche machine, also up 1 spot since that drop of the green flag. It was looking like Tom was trying to run away from Brady Waltman, but Brady, here he comes. These drivers just separated by 0.2 of a second here. We are almost halfway to go within this 45-minute race. Once again, I appreciate every single one of you joining me here tonight on Stam Studio Network. I am directing, producing, commentating this puppy here tonight. This has been a really nice, fun season opener to watch here. I know the battle for the lead quite hasn't been all that close, but P2 is continuing to hang right there with them. Got Harry Price continuing to hold just about what was a 0.7 of a second gap here over Lucas Haller. Lucas into the pits right now. He's going to try to play the undercut strategy call. It'll be interesting to see if the invisible air jacks go up on this #1 Lamborghini GT3, or is this just a quick fuel stop? Should be just a quick fuel stop. Yep, there you see it. No invisible air jacks. This should be just a quick stop and go for Lucas Haller. Down and out of the pits he will go, as well as John Jennings. He's going to make his stop as well. 2 pro drivers into the pits. Matter of fact, these drivers are the only ones into the pits at this moment. We'll have to keep an eye on the right side of your screen on that track map where Lucas is able to cycle out to once this thing is all said and done. No full course cautions here tonight. It is only local cautions, so there's no re-racking of the field, you could say. So we're going to have to see where this strategy call all plays out. If you play the little bit longer run, if you play that fuel-saving strategy call, well, did you save enough fuel to make that work, as well as, well, did you burn off a little bit more pace than what you were asked to by the crew chief? It'll be something we'll keep all of our eyes on here tonight. Right now, our biggest mover, I think we're all watching him, Matthew Sherwood. After that earlier spin in the race, the McLaren number 8 AM driver. I don't know how this driver is in this AM category, as he continues to show us pace, not only throughout this season opener, but as well as every other season that's Matthew has been a part of within the International Pro-Am Racing Series. Matthews, he's just so smooth on the wheel. Look at that. And in fact, you can listen in on that gas pedal and brake. It's just, there's no spinning of the tires, as well as, I mean, you got TC to help you out. Matthew, he definitely knows how to show us how it's done, as well as he's, I believe, P2 or 3 in the GT3 AM class. Here comes some more side-by-side battling here. It's going to be between Mauricio Ramos and Jeremy Jukic here. AM driver Jeremy gonna have to take give the point by to Mauricio here, as Jeremy Jukic is gonna dive into the pit lane. We'll have to see how close this stop was to Lucas Haller. I know it was Pro versus AM here, but Lucas pit 1 lap ago. That was 46 and a half seconds spent on pit lane for Lucas. We'll have to see how long Jeremy Jukic his stops is here. Matthew Sherwood, Patrick Reich, once again side by side. Turn 1, door quarter clear for the 666 machine. That's, I mean, I think Patrick Reich, although he's only 6 spots gained since the drop of the green flag, he's kind of been in the biggest sort of battle here between every single other driver. We've continued to see him work side by side and muscle his way back up through the lead, and he's done it respectfully, just about really no trading paint with any other drivers. Side by side once again, and this is what I'm mentioning here. Look at the racecraft here between these IRPAS racing drivers. You don't get this too much, and oh no, Matthew Sherwood. I was just praising him. Sean and Taylor Kerr's gonna strike for the number 8 machine. God dang. I'm so sorry, Matthew. That's you can put that one on me anytime I start talking about somebody good. Well, that was another self-induced spin there on lap number 11. 20 minutes to go into, well, now we could start to talk about a little bit of tire wear, tire temperatures that are just probably through the roof at this point. I know it's really, really nice optimal racing conditions here tonight from Spa, but you push your machine just a little bit too early on. The name of the game here with the GT3, you've got to maintain, you have to, I guess that's the word I'm looking. You got to maintain what your brakes and tires will give you earlier on in the run, and that is how you have the pace later on in the run. Next closest battle between 2 amps is going to be between Tyler Reed, Tom Duran once again here. We're going to hop on board with Tyler Reed as he's going to look down the inside. This is going to be a nice move. It'll switch back around to the outside this time. Tyler Reed, number 47, store corner clear. Tyler Reed up to P8. Jed Cotterman now into pit lane. These drivers, of course, do not have enough fuel to make it down into the finish of the race. So that's why we're seeing some strategy calls here tonight. That's why it's so much fun to watch this International Pro-Am Racing Series, is we do have a mandatory fuel stop to make. Well, I do say mandatory. If it is that you don't save enough fuel within the race. It's pretty hard to do. We had some drivers test for it in our practice sessions. Couldn't quite hit that fuel saving number. Here comes, matter of fact, a whole heap of AM drivers. Brady Waltman just mentioned in Matthew Sherwood, as well as Nicholas Meyer down. Oh, this is what I mentioned. You don't want to hit the reverse. You can't miss your pit box. That's going to just fall back. That's going to result in Nicholas Meyer in falling back at least a half second or so back and onto the racetrack here as everything cycles back and out around. You have to hit your marks here at pit entry and pit exit. Even on that pit sign, it is so important there. Nicholas Meyer showing us why it's so important. He should lose just a spot or two back, depending on where I believe that was Mark running behind him at the moment. It's going to be Tom Duran and Tyler Reed starting to look door quarter clear once again. It's just about 2 to 3 car lengths separating these two drivers. Once again, I appreciate every single one of you joining us here tonight on Stam Studio Network for the season opener of the International Pro-Am Racing Series. Once again, enjoy the sights and sounds. Go ahead and crank this puppy up. Sean Stam, I'll be right back with you up here in the booth. Alrighty, welcome back in here. Go ahead and crank this down before once again I get a little too excited. Jed Cotterman, John Jennings are starting to go at it as John Jennings has made his way just about 3/4 tenths back behind Jed. Jed is one of our biggest movers up here tonight, up 8 spots gained since the drop of the green flag, but John Jennings continues to hang right there with them. Both these drivers are in these McLaren GT3s this whole season so far within the iRacing universe, not the IRPAS season, as this is once again our season opener. We've kind of seen these McLaren GT3s have pace within this newer tire model. We're continuing to see it here tonight as, well, the race is led by a Ferrari, but we do have a McLaren up there in P2. Really our two closest battles at the track on moment were just Jed Cotterman and John Jennings, the one we were just looking at here, as well as Tom Duran and Marco continuing to go at it here. This is BMW versus Porsche action, and Jed Cotterman and John Jennings, that's once again 2 McLarens going at it. If you take a look at the left side of your screen, I now have listed each one of the manufacturers racing, battling it out here tonight from Spa. It's been so fun, to watch every single one of these drivers go at it, but it's looking like red is really making up a majority of that board, especially 5th, 6th, and 7th, Mauricio, Jed, and John. How about Jacob Cotterman? Jacob, I think we've mentioned one time earlier on this race. That's a brother, I believe, to Jed Cotterman, or son. Don't know what that full family is looking like over there, but Jacob is also having himself a nice run in one of those McLaren GT3s, up 9 spots since that drop of the green flag, and that's pretty much saying something, because Jacob did not have that qualifying effort that he was looking for, and for him to show this pace here tonight, it's a really nice run. Matthew Sherwood, he was up here battling within this AM category, a little bit higher on. believe that was for about that final driver interview spot. He sits fourth, fifth right now in that AM category. Matthew Sherwood showing us how it's done here with his number 8 McLaren. Got Brady Waltman continuing to reel in Matthew by just the slightest of margins. Unfortunate here for tonight. Another AM driver, Brady, he's lost 2 spots since the drop of the green flag. And it's interesting, because we do see that Acura NSX of Jeremy up here running P9 overall. I believe that is leading that AM category. He is running one of those Acura NSX machines, but we do see once again the second and only running Acura NSX of Brady Waltman is down there in 17th overall. I do believe the second running driver in the AM category right now belongs to Tyler Reed, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but we do have a few drivers that they don't have Pro and AM listed, so that's why I say I do believe. But for a driver like Harry Price with about 3,000 road course iRating, as well as Mauricio Ramos, well, Mauricio's only 1,500. Mauricio could be in that lead of the AM drivers. Jed Cotterman as well, that driver 1,400, so could have these 2 drivers running 1, 2 in AM. We'll try to get that all cycled out there within the iRacing universe, so we know just who is exactly in each class. John Jennings, I know by experience, this Fendi Racing number 17 McLaren, definitely a pro driver, 2,800 rating going to work there. He is unfortunately minus 2 spots gained, 2 spots lost since the drop of the green flag. So is Biscayne Lawless right there with John, minus 2 spots since the drop of the green. Here's a quick replay. We have an incident. We have a replay of this was between Patrick Reich and I think Tyler Reed. See some side-by-side action here. We've seen this 666. Tried to make the outside line work for him that time by. I don't even know if there was contact or if it was just netcode. It's unfortunately going to send 666 around Patrick. Patrick's down and now taking it to the garage. All right, we'll go through the field here real quick. Alexander Kjellner continues to lead every single lap here tonight from Spa with just 10 minutes to go. This pro driver showing us all how it's done. I know I continue to say about that, but Alexander, he really is showing us all how it's done. Harry Price there, a driver of the number 98. Another McLaren with some really nice speed here tonight. He's gained 1 spot. He's continuing to see it P2, 11 spots down from P1, and he's got 4.5 seconds gap over Oliver Jansen, another pro driver. Pro drivers making up, I believe, what is our top 4 at the moment. Lucas Haller sitting there 4th within overall and pro battles. Mauricio Ramos, I believe, is leading our AM category. He's just 1.8 seconds behind Lucas Haller. I'm not saying something if you're an AM driver that's able to keep up with Lucas, because Lucas, I have seen time and time again the amount of pace that he has, not even within the race settings there, but as well as just practice. Lucas is able to show me and find at least about half a second, or matter of fact, even a whole second at times. Lucas, once again, I appreciate every single thing that you do there back and behind the scenes of the Fendi Racing and IRPAS series that we got going. And congrats once again on your season championship win just last season. That's pro category belonged to that man himself, Lucas. Once again, he sits P4 right where he started this race, continuing to show some real nice pace. Jed Cotterman, John Jennings, here we go. Battle for 6 starting to heat up. John Jennings has shown that he is not scared to send it down in there, but he'll do it ever so respectfully. Well, when he does want to. John not close enough this time. Excuse me, that was Jed Cotterman who's there behind John. John is it's a tough driver to pass, but he will once again do it with just about every single ounce of cleanliness that he has, as well as that racecraft, especially out of these Fendi Racing drivers. That's something that these drivers really strive for, is the cleanliness in their racecraft, and we continue to see it race in and race out, as well as this season opener here. gonna be Tom Duran as well as oh, Jacob Cotterman actually. Okay, sorry. Jacob had a little bit of an internet blink out there. I thought he was going down and out and around of the racing surface. Looks like he's able to keep his internet in check. Marco's still going at it here between Dom Duran. These drivers, well, we have seen some side-by-side from him earlier on in the race. Now coming just about 7 minutes to go in the race. Does Tom Duran start to close this gap for this battle between these two AM drivers for the overall 13th and 14th position? Or will we see Marco start to run away with it here? We're on board with Marco here. Now we're going to hop on board with Tom as it does look like ever so slightly now more than half of a tenth of a second separating Tom Duran as well as Marco. Here we go through the incident that took out Patrick Reich earlier on in the race. We're going to continue to keep things moving and grooving in the GT3 class. Patrick, I believe I'm saying your last name right here. As a matter of fact, maybe you've even told me about last season or 2 seasons ago. Patrick, don't hesitate to let me know. Once again, here are so many leagues, so many different driver names to keep up with here. Is it Patrick Reich or is it Patrick Rich? Is he Rich with that last name there? Unfortunately, he's down and out of the race, that 666 machine, but was showing us some really fun battles to watch earlier on in the race. Right now, Alexander is showing some really big puffs of gravel smoke out the rear end of his diffuser. Now a 13.5 second gap over Harry Price. What do you do right now after Harry, as we'll hop on board with now? Do you just, I mean, you're just trying to hit your lap times. I'm assuming at this point you don't want to over shove it into one of these corners and end up in a gravel trap, or with your rear end or front nose off of this machine, as we continue to have a really nice run this race here from Harry Price. Season opener for not only IRPAS but as well as Harry. He's looking like he might be a driver to contend with this season. A little under 6 minutes to go here tonight from Spa. Once again, I appreciate every single one of you. We couldn't be doing it without the fans and drivers that make this all possible. Hey, appreciate Dan Fendick for putting on this league, finding some of the best, if not the best and cleanliest racing drivers out here within the sim world. And it's called IRPAS for a reason. Come on, International Racing Pro Am Series. We got some pros, we got some AMs, and they are all international, coming in from all around the globe. We continue to see Alexander Kjaller here. Know that this driver's not from the States himself. Know that, well, there's no flag here beside his name, so I don't want to say the wrong company. Goodness gracious. Good country. There you go. My goodness. With the 73, he continues to show us all how it's done. 13.7 second gap over Harry Price. Harry having himself once again really nice run, gained 1 spot since that drop of the green. He just sits by himself at this point in the race. 3.7 second gap over Oliver Jansen. Here we go once again. Kind of a little bit of a, it's not a DRS train, but a slipstream train between John Jennings, Jed Cotterman, up and through Aruz here. Goodness gracious, 4.5 minutes to go. Let me know who you have down there live in YouTube land between these two drivers. 0.3 seconds separating them. John Jennings is going to have to continue to play some World Cup-esque defense over Jed Cotterman here. Unfortunate for Jacob Cotterman, he is down and out of this race, but how about it? Jed is still retaining his spot, and right now in that 7th spot. There you see Jed. I appreciate you uploading your driver picture to the SDK database. It gives us something just to talk about here. No, Jed, no. He's going to go around, takes what looks to be a North Racing driver BMW with him. Oh, that's going to be Biscayne Lawless there. Lawless involved once again in another incident in this BMW GT3 machine. There you see front nose damage. No more aerodynamic capability in that front nose. There's 0 front downforce to work with right now for Biscayne, as we saw Jeremy Jukic head right out and around. Jed Cotterman, he was on the receiving end of what was contact over his own self-induced spin, but here we go, some more side-by-side between these two battle, as was 3 wide. We'll settle it back down to 2. Well, now it's back to single. Sorry about that. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty much our closest battle on the racetrack here for the moment. That pretty much the one of only 2 Mercedes GT3 AMGs out here on track. Tim Reed, he has shown us some really nice pace last season after he joined us about halfway, 3/4 the way through, came away with a couple podium finishes of his own. He says P8 right now. That would be P6 in the GT3 Pro category. There is, sorry, I was trying to think and talk at the same time. That is never a good combination, thinking and talking. Come on now there, SSN. Jed Connerman going to go around once again as he tried to get on that gas there just a little bit too soon there out of turn number 21. He'll fall back now to P10 overall, as that's really, really unfortunate. Jed was having a really nice run going for him before that earlier spin that lap. Lucas Haller. Lucas, he's a fun driver to talk about here tonight because, well, still with only 2 minutes to go left in this race, Lucas is the only driver to start this race where, well, excuse me, to be running in this race where he originally started. He's going to run wide that time by through, I believe that was turn to 9 and 10 and coming through 11 here, I do believe. Goodness, Spa, it'll sneak up on you once again. I don't know how the F1 EA Sports game classifies this track as a very easy track, if that F1 Xbox game is something that you guys like running down there yourselves, but they're definitely on something here. So we have the elevation change to work with. We have the technicality. These blind corners will continue to sneak up on him here. The gravel rooster tailing continue to rooster tail at the rear end of Lucas Haller's rear diffuser. Here we go, backing out to that rear diffuser cam. Mauricio Ramos, he's right on that rear end of Lucas Haller. Here we go. Nope, Lucas not going to have to play some really hardcore defense. He's just going to try and take away that line from Mauricio here. Coming just to 1 minute left in this race. We should be coming to the white flag lap. Here we go, Alexander Haller within that 22-second lead. Holy moly. He's got a gap so large that, matter of fact, it'll be interesting to see if we actually come to the white flag this lap within that lead so big. But if my math is continuing to math for us here behind the scenes, we should be coming to the checkered flag. Alexander, after leading every single lap today, just has to make it down and around this 4.3 mile elevation Hungary Spa road course. 21 turns to work with. It is a task easier said than done. Harry Price, Oliver Jansen, Lucas Haller, as well as Mauricio Marquez Ramos right there with them, 4th and 5th. This battle continuing to broil here between these two. It's going to build a little bit more tighter condition the closer that you do get to that GT3 in front of you. And why is that? Well, it is the air that you have to work with. You got to work with that a little bit more. Well, the closer that you get to that car up in front of you, the dirtier air that it gets. Your car doesn't have that air to grip and work itself that front downforce and really glue that front end down into the racetrack to where all that grip comes from. Lucas Haller continuing to take that air away from Mauricio for that overall P4 spot. These drivers are all continuing to trace Alexander Haller here tonight. Now he has pulled a 2-second gap. Matter of fact, since we even last looked at it here, Haller, he is led every lap. He's continuing to come down and around the racetrack here, coming to the last chicane through turns 20 and 21. Here we go. Alexander, what a season opener here tonight from Spa. Checkered flag. Congratulations, Alexander Haller. Take it away, our season opener. Harry Price, Mauricio Ramos, is starting to look side by side. Harry Price is going to take me2. This is Oliver Jansen, Lucas Haller, side by side. Harry Price, Oliver Jansen will take away the second and third. Final driver interview spot in that pro category going to Oliver. Here comes Lucas down and across the start-finish line. Mauricio Ramos down into P5. That driver will take. Here comes John Jennings, overall P6. Jeremy Jukic, what should be AM position P2. Congratulations, your podium finish here tonight in the AM class, Jeremy Jukic. Tim Reed coming home overall P8. I believe that's 6th in class. How about its final driver interview spots for the driver of Tyler Reed, another AM driver finishing in the top 10. Side by side across the line. That's going to be between Marco and Tom Duran. Give it to Marco at the start-finish line for that final top 10 driver spot. I believe that's 4th in the AM category. 5th place will belong to Tom right there beside him. Russell Alonso, as well as Matthew Sherwood, Jacob Cotterman, Mark Bray, Nicholas Meyer, Brady Waltman, rounding out that top 17. Gene Kelly, Louis Cheshire, Lee West, Biscayne Lawless, and Jed Cotterman. Of course, Dan Fendick, Patrick Rich, Dominic Gacklow rounding out that 25 driver field here tonight. I appreciate every single one of you joining in here. That was a fun race to watch. Join us next Saturday as I'll be live for it. This time actually live, if you know what I mean there. That'll be a fun race to watch. We'll be able to take just a lot more action to watch from. Hey, you got me slipping here. I don't even know what track we are at next week, but knowing Dan Fendick personally, he will not. He's one to choose the best track schedule possible here. So I appreciate you, every single one of you, once again. Once again, congratulations to our top 3 finishers in the Pro and AM category: Alexander Haller, Harry Price, Oliver Jansen. Top 3 driver interviews. Join us for those top 3 driver interviews before the drop of the green flag next week, the Saturday IRPAS Racing Series, about 3:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Appreciate every single one of you. I believe it's Mauricio as well as Jeremy Jukic, Tyler Reed rounding out that top 3 AM category. Thank you all for joining us once again here tonight. Sean Stam, Stam Studio Network. I think I can now finally say it. This was a tape-delayed broadcast, so apologies for what I was working with here tonight, but I tried to make it seem as if it was live. I was busy last night the whole day in San Antonio, but I will be, yes, you heard it, live for the IRPAS Series next Saturday. That's not going to be a race to miss. Put it on your calendar and schedule now. Appreciate you, every single one of you. Once again, Sean Stam, Dan Fendick, IRPAS Racing League, every single one of the drivers, the racers, the fans, their families alike. Thank you so much for joining me here tonight. Have a great rest of your night. I'll see you next time.